Welcome welcome all to the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast. If you like going off-roading in Toyotas, wrenching on Toyotas, camping in Toyotas, and maybe even poking a little bit of fun at Toyotas, and of course, hearing about how fantastic trip planning is in Toyotas, then this is the podcast for you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler, and joining me for another episode of the Snail Trail 4x4 podcast, Jimmy Jet.
What up?
The crowd goes wild.
Woo!
Yay! Hey.
I hit two buttons.
Yeah.
What was this one?
Get in, Sparkle Farts. We got chaos to spread.
That is the emphasis of our show.
I did hit both of those at the same time, so oops.
Wow. The crowd is just cheering for Sparkle Farts. That's
apparently
what it is.
so. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Welcome to today's show, everybody. It is Monday. Hopefully you guys all had a great weekend. We have some, I think, hopefully fun infotainment stuff for you guys. We'll get into that in a little bit. Before we do, this is kind of getting into October a little further and further here, which means you're running out of time if you need to adjust your tier on which of support for the channel. So we have multiple tiers you can sign up for. There's buy Jimmy's coffee, help him with his coffee budgets, which is $5 a month.
I'm down to water.
We're down to water. We ran out of budget today.
There's no more grounds.
Yeah. I'm actually out of coffee at home. I need to order more coffee and refill the keg.
Lot coffee.
Yeah, I need to get on that. So we got, let's see, the $5 tier, which goes towards the coffee budgets. We have a $10 tier, which goes towards the monthly giveaways. And we have a $20 tier, which goes towards the gift boxes. So we are in gift box month right now, which means some of you may be actually starting to receive your gift boxes as of today.
Yeah, possibly.
So especially, and the listeners in California, since where are they shipping from?
Probably Utah.
Utah. So yeah, Utahns, anybody in the Midwest there would probably start receiving their
Marley probably got his last week.
Yeah, right. Is he in
Boise?
In Boise, okay.
Not
probably. Yeah, maybe Friday. Anyways, gift boxes are going out. So you guys are going to be receiving those. Keep on the lookout for a random package to show up on your doorstep. And if you like what you got and you want to keep your gift box tier, don't do anything. Just hang out, have a good time.
Yeah.
Go use your new toy and let us know how it goes. What you use it for, right?
Absolutely.
And then if you're jealous that you did not get one of these, and we'll talk about them a little bit later here to give you guys all an announcement of what it was, then you can sign up for the gift box tier. You have until the end of the month for that over at irate4x4.com. There's the Snail Trail forum underneath the watch, listen, discuss section. Go in there and sign up for the gift box tier on irate 4x4. That's how you get in. It's only open during the months of April and October. We lock it down the rest of the year. So right now is your chance, your opportunity. If you had one opportunity, one shot,
2 shots
to seize everything you ever wanted.
Yeah.
Would you capture it?
Only in October.
Or just let it slip?
And maybe April.
Maybe April.
I could let it slip and then regret it and get in April.
That's true. You could, but then you're not going to get one of these. I guess you wouldn't have got one of these anyways. So
no, you're not getting whatever we give away from August or October through April. You have to stay in the gift box tier and then you get another gift from us.
Yay.
And then when you were saying, when you get a random gift on your porch and you like it, I thought you were going to say that one's from us.
Oh,
if you don't like it, then it wasn't from us.
That wasn't ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we got that going on. This month is the big changeroo month where you guys can change around whatever you're looking to do. We also, for this month's giveaway for the $10 tier, we are doing 2 gift boxes. So you'll have a chance if you're in the gift box tier to win a second item that you're going to be getting. And if you're not in the gift box tier, this is your chance to win an item. One of the gifts. One of the 2
gifts that we're giving away.
So we will have 2 winners this month. We'll do that drawing around the first week of November and let you guys know who won those. but keep your fingers crossed and your eyes straightened. Or is it your eyes crossed and your fingers straight?
I don't know. Tap your head and rub your tummy.
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever. It could either way it could work. But yes, like Tyler was saying, now's a good time to move any tiers if you want to change. Just remember, if you do make a change, you have to cancel your subscription on PayPal, on your own PayPal account, because it's all done through PayPal. Only signing up or changing tiers kind of is done on iRate 4x4. But if you want to cancel any tiers, because once you move a tier, you're going to stay in both of the tiers. So you want to cancel one of them, and you need to do that by going on to PayPal and canceling whatever one you don't want anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet. So that does that. We also have our giveaways for our briberies for reviews.
Yes, we do.
Yep. So all you got to do is go to Apple Podcast, leave us a review. It could be about anything, really. How much you love Toyotas, how much you hate Land Rovers.
Yes.
And
all the above,
any rovers, any kind of rover thing. Just let everybody know how much they're terrible cars. And we'll enter you automatically for a number of drawings that we do based on the reviews. And those ones are kind of cool because you don't have to keep re-entering. You just leave one review, and then that one review enters you in perpetuity for all reviews that we do in the future, any giveaways we do in the future based on the reviews.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like our very first one was a winch. We did at 500 reviews. We did a whole set of Yokohama tires at 750.
Yep.
And then at 900, we're doing a big $1,000 giveaway with Morphlate.
Wow.
So there's some fun things that Morphlate's going to be launching here over the next 6 months. And one major one should be due in here at the end of the month. So I might be able to announce it at the end of the month on the podcast here. But then we had another minor one, which has already come out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is that?
We are doing all of our couplers now with silicone injected sleeves, the collars, the locking collars on them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously, whenever you're using an air compressor, they just put out hot air.
Yes.
It's a symptom of air compressors. You can never get around it. How you manage the heat helps prolong the life of the compressor, but ultimately the user ends up having to touch hot fittings all the time.
Sure do. Yep.
So we designed our slide valves to have a silicone injected mold around the collar of the slide valve, right? The sleeve. We're now taking that and adding it to all of our couplers moving forward.
Really? So the tire coupler will have them?
Not the air chucks, because they're not really on hot. They don't ever get hot.
Okay.
But any of the couplers.
Got it.
So we have universal couplers that we use on everything.
So like mine, I had whatever you used to call the stubby.
Yep.
Right? What is it called now? Is it
Stubby.
just it's still the stubby?
Yeah, stubby manifold.
My air hoses, I can disconnect from the manifold.
Yep.
So those will have the silicone on them?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, our latest shipment of air hubs we just got in. We started. That's the first product lineup, starting with all the silicone injected couplers.
Cool.
And then the rest of our massive production, I think we did like 10,000 of them. All those couplers are coming in at the end of the month.
Sweet.
With the other big project.
Okay.
So,
well, good to know. So once the big project is announced, then I can retrofit my kit.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have a ton of couplers in for that. So
sweet.
Yeah. And we always love one of the big things.
$100 per coupler.
Yeah, exactly. Just pay shipping on it. Shipping's $250. So
yeah, right.
No, it's one of my favorite things to do when it comes to running a company is making backwards compatible gear.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I don't think it's right for companies to intentionally make equipment that forces customers to rebuy the same equipment over again, right?
Like what Snail Armor does.
What Snail Armor does. Now a lot of companies do it, and there's some places that like you just have to do it because it's all like one physical piece of thing, like Snail Armor, right?
Yeah. No offense taken.
Yeah. But for companies that are making products that are modular in design or can easily be retrofitted with your upgrades as you come out with upgrades for the products, and you're improving the products, you should be able to give options for your previous company customers
sure,
that have already supported the company a way to do that and retrofit it without having to buy a whole new unit, a whole new thing. Right.
I like it.
I've always done that whenever we've made an upgrade to the hose kits, to whatever. We've always made that upgrade available at a very cheap discount.
Yes.
And so we're going to do that again with the silicone injected couplers.
Oh, cool.
And what's cool about those is it's a coupler. So it's a 1/4 inch in universal coupler. So it uses industrial, aero, and automotive fittings, with 1/4 inch MPT threads on the backside of it.
Right. Okay.
So you can use them on any air system and they work awesome. So if you have a shop air system,
okay,
put them in your shop air system.
I might need another one.
Yeah.
Or two.
Yeah. So we'll have those all available at a pretty cheap discount. So before we mark them up to retail, we'll probably run it for 1 to 2 months to give everybody a chance to get their stuff and update their hose kits and whatnot out there, their air hubs, their compressors. Like, they're going to be awesome to put on air hubs and compressors, because those are the two fittings that just get hot.
Yeah.
So
of course. Can I buy hose from you?
Yeah. Yeah. We'll sell you hose in bulk. Just reach out. We have plenty of hose here, and we'll sell it to you in bulk if you really want some nice hoses.
So I have an air compressor. I don't often use the air compressor, but I have 2 very old, retained like arcs, memory.
Yeah.
It's been
The
wrapped
coils.
up. The coils have been wrapped up so long that it's retained. It has the memory of it being wrapped up. And then when you try to take it apart and wrap it again, it never wants to wrap correctly.
Yep.
So can I use the Morphlate hose as an air compressor hose?
1,000%.
I am okay. I'm gonna be.
Mhm.
I guess I'm gonna have. Can I get it in neon yellow?
No, you can have any color you want, Jimmy, as long as it's neon green.
All right.
Yeah. No, it's our current hoses are 1,000 PSI burst rating.
Wow.
500 PSI working load limit.
Yeah, I don't go above that.
and the temperature rating on them is 200 degrees.
Yeah.
So a nice improvement over the original hoses that we started the company with, which was the Flexzilla.
Yes.
They make a great hose. It's just, we found some issues and it didn't quite fit our application of what we're trying to do in our niche. So we had to go and design our own proprietary hoses. And so the current version of the hoses are 1,000 PSI, 500 working load, and 200 degree temperature ratings.
Cool.
So
yeah, I will probably retrofit my compressor so that I can get some better hose and a nice fitting.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you, Morphlate.
Anytime, man. That's what we're here for. Making dreams come true.
Finally.
Yeah. But totally. I mean, if anybody out there, shop air, I mean, hoses are notoriously bad for shop air systems. Flexzilla does a decent job, but ours is better. So if you guys have shop air systems out there that need new hose, let me know. We can make you anything you want, because we still do a huge over majority of our production here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So we have everything in house. We can build you whatever you're looking to get. So
yeah, that's cool. You do custom length kits?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You just do it all.
We literally do. That's the benefit of having it in house, right?
Sure.
So we manufacture all of the individual parts of shit overseas, but it's all shipped in here to Sacramento so that we can do modular custom solutions for people.
Yeah.
Need to. So
that's rad.
Yeah.
Sweet. And I think that all started because once we get to 900 reviews, we're doing a giveaway with Morphlate of upwards of $1,000 and the new kits or new products coming out in late this month and maybe early November, and then more stuff coming out later, Q1, and all that stuff is involved in the giveaway at 900 reviews or something like that, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, good. And I'm going to buy some injected silicone adapters for my Morphlate to upgrade that and my home shop setup.
Yep.
Sweet. I think that's about it. Anything else to announce?
I think that's it for announcements for right now.
Okay. How about we did get the winner for the Stellar Built Dobinson's bag.
We did. It was Andrew Clamped.
Nice job. Good memory.
Yep.
Yep. So if we haven't gotten to you now, you really got to reach out to us
for sure. Oh, that's funny. He's actually 2 months behind on episodes and listening to this 2 months behind and still hasn't heard from us.
Yeah, probably.
Keep
up, Andrew.
Terrible. All right. So I think that does it then. Should we take a quick break?
Yep.
All right. We'll take a break. Hear a little bit about what Brian's got going on over at Four Wheel Underground. And then we'll be right on back with some fun educational tips today.
At Four Wheel Underground, we have something for everyone's 79 through 04 Toyota vehicle. Whether you've got a Chevy Dana 60, 05 and up Super Duty, fabricated, FJ80, or mini truck axles, we got you covered. 3-link, 4-link, parallel, and triangulated suspension kits, we've got you covered. Under bed coilover mounts, through bed coilover mounts, trailing arms, cantilevers, custom tuned coilovers, and air bumps, we've got you covered. Frame stiffeners, subframes, skid plates, shock towers, and more to come. Make sure to use coupon code SNAILTRAIL at fourwheelunderground.com because we've got you covered.
Welcome back, everybody, to today's campfire discussion. We have a fun, I don't know, it'll be a fun talk, hopefully informational topic at very minimal. And then maybe Jimmy and I can make it fun for you guys too. We'll see.
I think so.
No, don't cross your fingers. Don't hold your breath.
Well, I think we have a lot of mistakes that we have done in the past that will make this more entertaining than not.
Yeah. Do as we say, not as we do.
We need to put that underneath. Yeah. All of our episodes needs to be a description. Snail Trail 4x4 Off-Road Podcast description.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Exactly.
I'm going to throw that in the next intro when we record. All right. So essentially what we're going to go over is kind of trip planning.
Yeah.
Right.
Trip planning and logistics kind
of stuff. We started looking into we've kind of done.
I feel like we've done a lot of these.
Yeah.
But we're kind of like bringing it all together.
I agree. I think we've done it all at different times and it's nice to get it all into one place now.
Yeah. And some of the times that we've talked about these, some of these topics wasn't even the main topic, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, we're talking about part of it. Yeah. So I think we're kind of consolidating 6 years of podcasting into like this one episode.
Yeah. Might be more than one episode. I think we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
But trip planning.
2 episodes maybe.
Yeah. Trip planning, logistics. How do you go about what are stuff you need to know? How do you go about finding that information? And then how do you implement that information into your trip?
Yeah.
Right. What do you do with it once you have that information?
Sure.
So, so let's start at you're sitting around at home on the toilet.
Yeah.
As you do when all the best ideas hit you.
It's probably true.
And you're like,
actually,
you know
to
what?
be honest, you know when the best ideas usually hit me is like the few moments before I fall asleep.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like I'm rested. You know, like I'm relaxed. I think is more how I want to put it. And then it's sort of like I think of that one thing either I forgot to do that day, or it like I have this amazing brainstorm because I think it's just like I'm not worried. Like my worry of the day is over.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and I can relax and like let my mind kind of cruise.
Okay.
And then I think of I either remember something that I should have done and I like my heart starts racing and I have to get up and do it.
Yeah.
Or I end up falling asleep and have this great dream of like how I want to open an ice cream shop or whatever it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Trucks and cream. No, that doesn't really work.
That doesn't work.
No.
That's something you get with lot lizards.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but how about what if it's a Dodge themed thing and it'd be Cummings and cream?
I was not ready for that. Oh my God. Genius idea. That needs to be a t-shirt somewhere. Okay. Sorry. We
Maybe
need
I don't
t-shirts.
need to fall asleep. Maybe I need to be sitting in the podcast studio.
You need to be having fun in the podcast studio.
Oh man,
See, oh, that was a good one,
that
man.
made me cry.
I'm crying. I can barely. Everything's all watery.
That's funny.
And blurry.
Somebody, Zach from Oklahoma, I need you to draw a shirt up for me with that.
Yeah, we need to get Brian back on doing some producing stuff.
That too. Yeah.
Get a fun T-shirt for Cummins and Cream. The new ice cream Dodge themed ice cream shop.
It's a Dodge like van.
Yeah.
Like a Sprinter van.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That has the Cummins engine in it. Cummins for all you people out there.
People are going to get upset, Jimmy.
I know they are. Right? And then it's an ice cream van.
Ice cream truck setup. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a new a food truck. It's an ice cream food truck.
Yeah.
It's a Dodge, whatever those Dodge vans are.
All the ice cream is salty.
Doesn't, what's his face? The Land Rover guy have one of those?
Donnie?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought he had a Dodge van.
Oh,
his van, isn't it?
I don't
a
know
Dodge?
if it's a Dodge.
Yeah.
A while ago he had a Nissan. One of
Maybe
those
that's what it
weird
was.
Nissan boxy van things.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he has now. I think
Okay.
he got a Chevy pickup and put a camper on it.
Oh,
yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
All
Anyways,
right,
moving on.
You got me so sidetracked after the Cummins and Cream.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
All right, we're talking about off-road, like off-road planning for a trip, the logistics for your trip, trying to figure out like where you want to go, like how you want to execute the trip, and sort of leading up to you guys taking off. You still laughing about it all?
Yes, I thought it was good. I was just like, that was so stupid. Now I can't stop laughing again. Oh, man. Okay. I'm good. Continue.
No, and so after we wrote down a few things, we have a list here. I think we wrote down like 6 items, and I think for the first 3 items are enough to make a podcast out of, and we'll probably follow up with the next 3 items in the next podcast. And we broke them down kind of like somewhat more of planning the trip, and then the next one's going to be kind of executing the trip. So after reviewing everything we wrote down, I think because neither one of us has, at least I don't think either one of us has wheeled doozy.
Nope.
Yeah.
At least
I
not
think
in my adult life.
using doozy somewhat as
That's a good one.
our goal
Yeah.
for kind of laying out this, or using all of the tips and tricks we have.
Yeah.
And I like doozy. There's only one thing on here that doesn't really work for doozy, but a lot of things that works well is doozy's a multi-night trip.
Yep.
It's a long trip. There's
a lot of ground to cover to get there.
There's a lot of ground to cover to get there where there's nobody around.
Yep. There's not a lot of infrastructure near the trail.
No.
Societal
before
infrastructure.
or after the trail.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a through trail. So you end up somewhere different than where you started. So I think doozy will work good as sort of our like bucket list trip.
Yeah.
To start whenever we talk about these things.
I agree. That's a really good one. Yeah.
All right. I think so. So we want to wheel doozy.
Yeah.
Right. And this is right now it's all hypothetical because I mean, we're not doing this. We're not doing the exercise with you guys right now, but we're going to talk about it. So we want to wheel doozy. So where do we start? Do we just drive down there and like
drive to Shaver Lake and look for signs?
Yeah. Like what would be step 1? And like, I've always wanted to wheel doozy. What do I do?
I think definitely you need to know where it's at and some basics of the area would be my first step. Like, what does the geography look like? The topography look like? What's your elevation look like in that area? Are you going to be at high elevation, low elevation, medium? Do you have to worry about
weather
coming up in the next week during your trip? I think that there's that stuff is the kind of immediate.
Yeah.
And then outside of that, you need to look at how to get there. So, let's look at first the things that you need to know about the area first. How do you know where it is?
Sure.
That's simple. I mean, it seems very simple. It's like a very simple answer to answer, but a lot of times that simple stuff can be sometimes the most overlooked things.
Yeah, kind of.
So
yeah, and I think nowadays, it's like there's some software that really helps us to figure out where something is. You know, there's always Google Maps. I mean, you could even go backwards. So you could find a paper map. And if you go to, I forgot I think if you go to the Forest Service or national parks, you can actually order topo maps of certain areas too. So once you figure out like a GPS coordinate, you could probably order a topo map of the area if you wanted to have a physical topo map of where you're going. Yeah. Which could be cool. But you know, there's Google Maps. So you could type it in, but sometimes Google Maps doesn't really have off-road trails, but it could tell you how to get to the general area driving on the road.
Google has been in the past few years now doing a really good job at nailing down little points of interest.
Okay.
So if you put in Doozy Ursham Trail, I'm sure Google would be able to get you to the trailhead.
Yeah.
Would know where it is. That's a big enough talked about trail that I think they'd be able to figure it out. Now, if you put in, I don't know what's a good example. I don't want to say Poker Flat. Even that is a good example. I mean, well known.
I'm making up a lake name, but if you said like Emerald Lake, like out, and that's on, I'm making it up, right? That's on the Doozy Trail. It probably wouldn't be able to really find
let's
it.
Just say let's just say Bald Mountain.
Yeah, Bald Mountain.
That's a great example. How many of those are there?
How many bald mountains are in California? Like 5?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you typed in Bald Mountain and you didn't know the general area, then you don't know which Bald Mountain you're going to go to if you can drive up to the top or where there's a lookout tower or if there's no road up there at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of need to know the general area about where you're going, have an understanding of the topography of like what terrain you're going to be going through, how long you're going to be out there, how the duration of the trip.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think a lot of that then falls into like, well, if I'm going to be out there for a week, like what's the weather going to be like for a week? Because if you're only going out for a day, you know, like you do,
you
need you need to consider the weather, but it's not like the weather might not change as much in one day as it could during that week.
Yeah.
You know, you could go from bright sunny skies through rain into snow, especially out on the Doozy Trail, where if you're going up for the day, you're only ever going to hit that sunny day.
Yep. Yeah, that's a really good point. So in our case, we're looking at Doozy Ursham, which is out near Shaver Lake, Lake Edison. What is the other? Kaiser Pass up there in, I believe, Sierra National Forest.
Okay.
So it's a high elevation trail.
Yep.
And I can figure this out because I can Google and there's information out there about Doozy Ursham. Onyx Maps
100%
has a lot of great information about the surrounding area and what kind of things you're going to be looking at from the topography to elevation to region. You know, are there a lot of trees for shade or are there no trees for shade because you're above the tree line? There's different things there too. Are you going to be in desert, temperate climate, a desert climate or, a temperate Mediterranean climate kind of thing. So there's a lot of that is really nice to have an Onyx membership to look up. Onyx has all of that kind of built into the native platform of just basic data on an area.
Absolutely. One of the things I like about Onyx that falls right in line with what you're talking about is once you actually locate the trail and you know where you're going and you can see the topography and what kind of is the environment, you can click anywhere on that trail and it will tell you the 7-day forecast for that exact location.
Yeah. It's pretty rad.
It is really cool.
Yeah. I use that all the time.
I did too. Just the other weekend when we were trying to figure out what's the temperature going to be somewhere. And we were like, I don't know, let me pull up Onyx, my weather app software now.
Yeah.
And
I honestly, that's a good point. I don't use weather like weather.com or a weather widget anymore. I just pull up Onyx and tap either where I'm at or where I want to be.
Yeah.
And just look at the forecast.
Yeah, you're like, what's the weather going to be up at Loon Lake right now?
Yeah.
Like you can't really type Loon Lake into Google and have it tell you the weather station up
It'll
there
tell
or whatever.
You Pollock Pines.
Yeah, or something.
Or Placerville or Tahoma.
But you can tap on it in Onyx and you can get the weather for that area.
Yep.
It's probably, I don't know how they do it. I'm not even going to guess. Well, there are other softwares as well. I mean, there's like All Trails, Gaia, there's trails.com, which is a fantastic off-roading trail blog platform that I'm not sure if they might have an app. I don't know if they have an app, We should get them on just to talk to them sometime because they run a really. I've ran into people on trails that was doing the trail for trails.
Okay.
Offroadtrails.com or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I sold them for 4X off-road trails or something like that. I forgot. I used to own a domain. That was fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of apps, software out there to help you figure out the trail, know what you're going to get yourself into. And you really got to study those to get an understanding about what the trail's like, learn the trail ratings.
Yeah.
And, just get it. A lot of them will tell you the length of the trail too. So you know how long you need to plan your trip for.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a rough estimate or guess on like how far you can wheel in a day? Like,
so much depends on the terrain, right?
Yeah.
It's how much technical crawling are you going to be doing versus high speed desert forest road stuff or medium speed forest road. So
if you're going somewhere, how do you figure out like how many days it's going to take you? If it like, cause what is doozy? It's
I want to say it's 32 miles,
It's
32, 34, something like that.
Right.
30 to 40, somewhere in that range.
We can look it up, can't we?
Probably.
Onyx
Let's
right
figure
now?
it out. Okay. So I just went into Onyx real quick. We're on live. We're on the camera recording, so you guys can look at this. I searched Onyx for doozy. All I put in was doozy and took me straight to Doozy Ursham Trail.
That's exactly what I just said. Yeah.
So let's see. Where did
mine
the trail
says
go?
18 miles.
Yeah, mine doesn't even show that. It's just a guided trail, but doesn't shove information on it.
It did when I searched doozy. Oh, doozy / Ursham Trail, 30 miles.
Yeah.
And this one says duration 48 hours, difficulty 7.
Okay. Out of 10?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay.
Yeah. And I click on it,
Mhm.
and then it pulls up the overview and the coordinates, distance 30.3 miles, trail rating 7 out of 10, high point 10,125, the low point 7,992. So it's a 3,000 foot, over 3,000 foot
elevation change.
Yeah. Yeah. It says you go up 4,600 feet and you come down 5,600 feet.
Jeez.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good information right there.
Yeah. Right in just about the trail. Gives you an idea of the terrain you're going to be at. If you then click on it, you can search it, look at the weather for the trail for the next 7-day forecast. So like there's lots of different places you can do that at. We just like Onyx because they're doing some cool stuff in the industry. So we like using their piece of software. And it all seems to be a nice little consolidated into one spot, easy to look up for you. So,
absolutely. So how do you find out? My question is like, how long is it going to take me? Right. It's
to run the trail.
Like I know it's 30 miles, but the Rubicon's what from start to finish from like Loon Lake to Homa is like 20.
It's about 20, 19.
Yeah. And I can do that in a day.
Yeah.
So can I do, this is 10 more miles. Like, that'd be a long day. Can I do it in 2 days?
2 days, probably. I think that for us, because we do have the experience of the Rubicon and we know how long it takes us to traverse the Rubicon or Fordyce, so very technical trails, longer that we have in the area. I would say 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Just because we're also new to the trail.
Right.
It's always going to take you longer when you're new to the trail. I've talked with Matt, our listener, our Ford Ranger listener, Matt, down in Fresno. He can do the full doozy in 1 day.
Okay.
But he's also very familiar with the trail. He goes up and helps do maintenance on the trail to open it up and close it each year.
Yeah.
So he's very familiar with Doozy Ursham.
Well, yeah. And I think you're talking about what I was hoping we would get to. The point is I would ask around.
Yeah.
I would talk to people, right? Because I've talked to people in the past and a lot of people say take 4 days.
Yeah. For
right?
doozy.
For doozy.
Yeah.
right? Because there's at minimum, you're going to have a day of travel
Yeah.
on front or back.
Gotcha. Okay. So not 4 days on the trail,
No.
4 days to make the whole trip
Yeah.
happen. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
and I would maybe even say take 5.
I would say 5.
Yeah. Because you're going to have a day of travel on either end and then 3 days on the trail.
Yep.
And that's because we live farther away than some of these other people. But I think one of the best assets you can have is find a Facebook group of that trail.
Yeah,
Find some, if you can find the organization that monitors the trail or like works on the trail, like the 4x4 club, like are they Railtown? What group is he in?
I don't know exactly which club it is. I know that Clovis Independent Four Wheelers does a lot of work up in the Sierra National Forest for a lot of the trails up there, but I don't know if they're the one directly overseeing Doozy.
Yeah. And I think, can you go on Cal 4 Wheel and it'll tell you who monitors what trail?
I don't know if they have that database available. That would be really nice to have that though.
Yeah.
What I've had to do to figure it out in the past was call one of the ranger districts.
Okay.
And say, hey, for this OHV trail, is there a club or organization that's adopted it and oversees it? I would like to chat with them about the current conditions and what the trail looks like because I'm planning a trip.
Yes.
I've done that before.
Okay.
I had to do that to figure out the club that adopts and oversees Signal Peak.
Oh.
So, and then I reached out
a club that does that.
Yeah. Oh. And then I had to reach out to them to be like, dude, you guys should go up and check on your trail.
You need to look at that mud hole.
Yeah. But you can do that. That's one way to do it.
Yeah.
Another usually pretty good method of looking for it is a lot of groups on Facebook will be labeled as like friends of blank.
Yeah. Doozy Ersham Trail.
Friends of Doozy Ersham Trail. Friends of Fordyce. Friends of the Rubicon. Friends of Oceana Dunes. Right. So there's all these different groups out there, and usually the ones that are most associated with taking care of an area trail system are good. They're going to be labeled as friends of blank.
Sure.
So I would say you can start there as well to start asking people about the trail, how long it takes to do it, what are some points of interest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Along the trail.
That's a good one.
Like people do and have done with us. They call in and say, hey, I'm thinking about running the Rubicon. I've got 3 days on trail. What should I do? What should I see? How should I do it? And we have enough experience where we can give that input. And I think the same thing can be done with friends of blank.
Yeah.
Friends of Doozy.
Insert name here.
Yep. And if you can't find a book for it, a Facebook group, call your local ranger district the local ranger district for the trail and ask them about local resources. Typically, who is the club or organization adopting that trail, and start there.
Yeah.
So
no, that's a good idea. And I think then talking to those people about like exactly what you were saying, like I'm planning on running this trail. How long should I run it? How long does it take? Like, where are the hard spots? What are some points of interest that I need to do? Is there a hike I need to go on? Is there a lake I should stop at to go swimming at? Is there a great camping spot near a river or whatever it ends up being? And just talk to them about the trail and get their feedback on what you should do out there, because they're going to be one of the greatest resources that you have to find out to gain that information on this new adventure that you're going to go on.
Yeah. Another method that can work, especially if you're looking at less of a wheeling trip and more of a camping trip.
Okay.
Is recreation.gov.
Yeah.
Recreation.gov oversees all of the campsites, public campsites, available in the United States.
Okay.
So that's from like PG&E campsites, mud campsites, public land campsites, and they can give you information on, like I do this when planning the trip on the Feather River down to Millsap Bar.
Oh yeah.
I'd go to recreation.gov and look up Millsap Bar campground to figure out how many campsites at the campground. Are the bathrooms open at the campground? What are fire restrictions looking like? Those are usually listed there as well about the area. So recreation.gov is another good resource. Mainly if you're looking at designated campsite camping areas. So like that would be good to check out for camping on the front end and back end of your trip on Doozy.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
So starting at Courtright, and ending up on the other end. I forget the it's past Ersham Lake. Is that the Kaiser end?
I'd have no idea.
Anyways, Courtright's on the southern end. There's the other entrance on north end, but there's camping around both of the entrances. So you can go to recreation.gov and figure out what are some campsites in the area and what's a backup campsite in the area.
Yeah.
In case you go to one campground and it's full, they're not letting anybody else in, kind of thing.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I think the last thing that I just sort of have in this general topic about like planning and route planning and navigation and stuff is I would highly download the offline maps.
100%.
Whether you're on Onyx, Google, or whatever mapping software you enjoy doing or having, I would go and download that area of the entire trail and maybe a little larger if you're going to include some of the camping offline, so that when you are in the middle of nowhere and you have no cell phone reception, maybe you don't have a Starlink or any way to communicate, your phone's GPS still works, so you can pull up that map and it'll use the GPS and you can see where you are on the trail or where you need to be or where you should have been. Yeah.
Yep. For sure. I think that's a really big one. That's a necessary one. You gotta
100%.
do it. So one thing that I also like to do, if you can't get a hold of anybody or you're just like, you like the adventure of figuring it out on your own, Onyx does really good job for exploring new areas.
Okay.
Because they have really good satellite imagery available.
Okay.
So you can zoom way in on the satellite imagery and find, hey, there's a little clearing here by Ersham Lake. Let's plan that. Ersham Lake looks like a pretty cool lake from the satellite imagery. Let's plan at stopping at that point of interest along our day. And so you can kind of help plan out your route by going to the satellite imagery, zooming way in and seeing what looks interesting along the route, and then kind of planning your night stays that way. And then download everything offline because that's like your fail safe. That's how you're keeping all this shit together. So you don't want to lose track of that.
Right. I think that's true.
Yep.
I think we should, I'm done with route planning and navigation.
Okay. Yep.
Do you have any other feedback necessarily?
I think that's my main thing is, it's, there's a lot of research that can be done on the front end before your trip.
Absolutely.
To figure out and be prepared. You got to know what terrain you're going to. You got to know elevation. If you have issues with elevation, then you need to know the elevation of where you're going on all the time. That's a very serious thing you don't want to mess up. Weather is another big thing. You don't want to get caught up at 10,000 feet above tree line with thunderstorms and hail and lightning going around.
Yeah.
So, definitely knowing some stuff ahead of time is very key and paramount in having, and then being able to take that information with you through offline sources is huge, or have a Starlink. But even then, are you always going to have power from the Starlink?
Yeah.
What if something happens to your vehicle and you're fucked now?
Right.
So just get download stuff.
Yes. That's always smart.
Yep.
For sure. Let's see. So our second main topic kind of for this leading up to our trip is sort of getting to the trail. But I think we should do our third version next.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Our third,
because this one goes more into planning than getting to the trail.
Yep.
So, all right, we're mixing ourselves up here. So let me cross this out for the show notes. So we're going to go 3 and 2. Okay. So the next one kind of has to do with something that we don't have to deal with very much in California, but and it made me think of the Transamerica Trail when we sort of were doing this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of East Coast and Central Midwest people probably have to deal with it.
Yep.
Is permits, permissions, and land access.
Yeah.
We're fortunate out here in California. We're spoiled that kind of can go wherever we want to some extent.
Yeah. Within reason.
Unless there's a gate up, which then you just don't go into somebody's property.
Or you pull out a grinder.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Do as we say, not as we do, folks.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
So do you have any insights on permissions or permits to how to go about it or find them?
definitely you need to know who owns the land you're playing on.
Absolutely.
I think that is, and that can go back to the first stage, right?
Yeah.
As part of this
Planning
and gathering all the information, right? This stage is more getting ready and getting the necessary things to start implementing, right? So you're gathering the tangible items you need. And part of this is permits and permissions and access. Yeah. That's a tangible item that means something to you. It's not just random information, something you need to do something with.
Yeah.
So know the land manager, and land managers. Another cool thing about this is a whole Onyx advertisement. Jeez. Another cool thing about Onyx is if you have the elite membership, they tell you they're tied in directly to the parcel public records.
Okay.
So public records for parcels owned in the United States, property owned in the United States.
Yes.
So if you have an elite membership with Onyx, you can tap on any piece of land in the United States, and Onyx will spit back and give you who owns that land and what their public record is for contacting that person.
Yes.
I actually used this recently.
You did.
To try and figure out who owns the property of Old Man Mountain on Fordyce to talk to them about putting up a repeater.
Yep.
And so we were able to track down the owner of the property and talk with them about the repeater, which is pretty cool. And we got that because of Onyx and them showing us what the public record is. So all of this data that they're showing us is searchable on public record. You can go down to a parcel office, records department, and pull this information. It's a small fee to pull the data, but they will do it for you. It's public record. So Onyx is tied into that. So you need to know whose land you're on. Now, once you know whose land you're on, you need to figure out, is it accessible? Okay. So does the property owner want to let you access the land, or are they like, no, stay the fuck off?
Right.
And East Coast stuff is a lot of private property.
It is. Yes.
Unless you're in a national park or national forest, typically state parks as well. West Coast and from Midwest West, we have a lot of open use public land, a lot of BLM land, a lot of national forests. We have a lot of land that is public use, public access. So most of the time, you just need to make sure that you know where the trails are that you're allowed to be on, right? It's not necessarily a matter of if you can go or not. You just need to know where you're allowed to be. So that's where this comes into. So if you need a permit, go get a permit. If you're going to go hiking in Desolation Wilderness, you need a permit because the people responsible for coming and finding you if shit happens needs to know that you're out there.
Yeah.
Right. We can't just have a bunch of people go hiking into Desolation Wilderness. It's a very risky place to go hiking in. High risk comes a lot of issues for search and rescue stuff. So the whole permit, like I know that people don't like permits. I know that people try and get around permits all the time. There's a reason, usually good reasons why permits are in place. For places like Desolation Wilderness, it's so that they know you're in there. And that we're not getting too many people in at one time, but like that's usually not the issue with Desolation. Usually you can get a permit fairly easily. They just need to know that you're back in there so that if you don't show up or somebody says, hey, you're not around and it's past the expiration of your permit, they know where to go looking for you at. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a safety thing more than it is trying to limit what you're allowed to do.
Yeah.
So that's permits, permissions, land access. Like you just need to know who the land manager is, get a hold of them. Like for Doozy Ursham, the land manager would be Sierra National Forest.
Okay.
And Fresno County.
Right. So
Sierra National Forest is in charge of managing the forest within Fresno County.
Yes.
So I believe the trail, the OHV trail itself, it's kind of like the Rubicon, where I believe Doozy Ursham is overseen by the county.
Oh,
but outside of 25 feet of center is National Forest.
Sure. Okay.
So if you're camping, you need to be checking in with National Forest. Fire restrictions are in place. But if
You
you're
shouldn't be.
you shouldn't be. If you're traveling the trail, and you're trying to figure out if Doozy is open. I believe you would go to Fresno County for that.
Oh, okay.
The forest would probably have that information too.
Right.
Because it's kind of like El Dorado National Forest and El Dorado County here, where they work very much hand in hand with the Rubicon most of the time. And so either way, one of those two land managers would be able to get you going in the right direction and figure out, is the trail open?
Yeah.
What are the rules of essentially an agreement of, if you want to go travel this trail right now, what are things you need to do and not do?
Yeah.
They'll be able to give you all that information. That typically always comes from the land managers or the landowners.
Right. And I think that falls right in lines with getting the appropriate permits to run the trail if you need a specific permit to run a trail, or even the permits for like having campfires or using your stove.
Yep.
Right. You need all the permits, whatever it is that's required of you to go out on those trails. And the landowners or land managers would know what those are. They'll tell you like, hey, if you're going to be out for 4 days, you know, you're probably going to need a fire permit, because you even need a fire permit just to use your camp stove.
Yep.
And you're probably going to want to have a warm dinner.
Yep.
So you're going to need that.
Unless you're Jimmy.
Yeah.
And eat peanut butter and honey all day.
Or I just throw it on the manifold.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's some more planning and more like kind of execution that needs to happen once you start diving a little bit deeper into where you're going. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to swap these up, because I think the permits, you need to figure out what's required of you to have while you're out on the trail to allow you to be out there, to allow you to have the enjoyment that you want to have. If you need any special requirements and permissions to go out there from either the land managers to get that land access, or just the permission to have the, you know, make sure that the gate's open. Like, yep, you call up the National Forest. They're like, yeah, the trail's open. You're like, sweet. That is good enough that the permission is there.
Yep.
The gate is open. We can go down the trail.
Yeah. And then this one comes in big here on the West Coast, where we have to do a lot of research typically during wintertime. And when seizure closures happen, when seasonal closures happen, there's still trails that we're allowed to be out on as OHV users as over snow travel trails.
Yes.
But you need to know which ones are open versus closed, and then which ones are tracked vehicles only versus 4x4 wheeled vehicles.
Okay. Yeah.
Or versus, this is mainly supposed to be like a cross country skiing trail. Yep. You shouldn't be on it at all for anything.
Right.
Kind of thing. So, that kind of stuff is part what you would do by looking in and chatting with land managers. So, I think a big one that a lot of people overlook is common mistakes.
Okay.
That will get you fined or banned from the area. So like if you're going to a private off-road park for a couple of days and they have a very strict, which everybody should have, but let's just say, no drinking and driving policy.
Yes.
It's easy to target that one. And they find you drinking and driving, but you're like, I didn't know about that policy. It's not on them to make sure you're educated about it. You need to know the policies of where you're going. And Jimmy's already kind of said that, but it's stating it in kind of a different way that makes you understand that there are things you can do that will get you banned from places.
Sure.
You need to know what those are. It's your responsibility to know those and adhere to them in order to maintain our good standing with recreation in that area.
I saw a funny video online of a guy that had his car made out to look like a police car.
Okay.
Right. And he got pulled over, of course, for like impersonating a cop.
Yep.
But he was not from that state.
Oh.
So he was arguing, and I forgot what states it was.
Okay.
But he was from state A. And in state A, he impersonated the cop car of state B.
Okay.
Right. So, and then he went to state B and he got pulled over.
Yeah.
And state B was like, we're giving you a ticket because you're impersonating a cop. But he's like, but this is legal to drive around in my state.
Yeah.
Right. And I thought that was hilarious because there's a lot of rules state to state or even land area to land area that you need to understand, because if you're following your rules in one area, it might not be the same rules in another area.
Yep.
But for this individual, this guy, it was like, he knew what he was doing.
Oh, he 100% knew what he was doing. Yeah.
And he designed, and when he's driving around in state A, it's okay to drive around like that because that's not a cop car of that state. Right. So he's impersonating a cop, but not a cop of that state, I guess. I don't know how that worked out. So then when he went and got in trouble in the other state, they're like, what do you mean you're allowed to drive around like that? Then it was kind of, the cops kind of looked funny because they're like, why would they allow you to drive around like that?
Yeah.
You're obviously impersonating a police officer. Like, he's like, but no, it's legal there. It was just super funny. But just following in line what Tyler's saying, what's legal in one area is not legal somewhere else. Yep. Know the rules, know what where you're going, what you're going to be getting yourself into, and follow the rules and be good stewards of the land so that, we can continue to go out there.
Yep. Let's see. Planning trips around closures, fire restrictions, weather, where you're going to be going. If you see a big storm coming in, maybe not the best time to go to that place.
Nope.
And I think the biggest caveat to all this is don't be afraid to cancel your trip.
Yeah.
If
that comes up in the next one.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, then I'll hold off on that one.
Yeah. So our next one was is getting to the trail sort of, and looking into that. I guess maybe, I have fuel, range, and contingency plans.
Yeah.
And so I would lump, don't be afraid to actually cancel your trip into contingency plan. And we'll get to that in a little bit, but that's why I think that falls there. So I think, we've kind of planned the route, understand the navigation tools, understand the land managers, where we're going, what permits we need. And now we're like sort of on the way or planning on the way to get to the trail. What resources
do we need to get there kind of thing?
And for Doozy, that we're planning the trip to the trail, right? It's a lot of, where's the last resource?
Yeah.
How far out is my actual last gas? Like, am I towing? Where should I drop my trailer?
Yep.
If I'm towing, that means this is a one-way, how do you call that? It's a directional trail, not a loop trail.
Doozy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you go through and then you got to figure out how to get yourself back to your trailer. Yeah. So where do you drop your trailer? How the trailer logistics? And I know, because I've done a mild amount of research on Doozy, is gas is an issue.
Yep.
So, get your gas at the closest possible spot and maybe take a gas tank with you and fill it up so that you have extra gas while you're out on the trail in case of that emergency.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know that in Kermit, I can run the Rubicon Trail from Loon to Tahoma, and do the Granite View Loop, and then back to Loon and make it back down to Fresh Pond.
Wow.
On one tank of gas.
Okay.
In Kermit. So that's roughly,
I don't know,
30 miles? No, 30 miles of trail.
Yeah.
With an uphill up Ice House Road for an hour and a half. So, and then back down, which is kind of coasting. It's a lot easier on gas.
Yep.
I would say that's a good 100 miles, 150 maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how long Fresh Pond to Loon Lake is.
Yeah. So I know that I can do that.
Yeah. I know I can wheel in Bobcat. I can fill up in Georgetown, drive all the way to the Rubicon, wheel the Rubicon Trail to Cadillac, and make it home.
On one tank?
On one tank of gas.
Nice.
And I'm like on fumes.
Yeah.
But I'll make it.
Yeah.
So I know that. And last time I went to the Rubicon for the Rubathon, before the Rubathon, I wheeled to Buck, from Georgetown to Buck. I filled up in Georgetown, went to Buck. Then we wheeled the Granite Loop, and then I wheeled out, and I was like a quarter tank when I got back to Georgetown.
Okay.
And I was like, well, I'll just go all the way home.
Yeah. And so like with the Rubicon, there's fuel in nearby, right?
Yeah. Semi nearby.
It's about
I want to put a gas station at Wentworth Springs and Wentworth Springs.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Morgan, can you make that happen? So yeah, there's fuel nearby, but it's not super readily nearby. It's not like right at the trailhead or anything. So you need to be able to plan that out, and you should have an idea of how far your vehicle can go when it's doing technical trails versus forest roads versus highways.
Absolutely.
If you don't know that, then take a lot of extra fuel.
Yes.
Take more than you would need.
Yeah. And
So-
I know Bobcat burns fuel faster than other vehicles.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got the stage 2 TRD cam in it, which still allows me to be smog legal here in California, but it burns more fuel at low RPMs.
Yeah.
And so I know that my fuel range is less than a similar vehicles to Bobcat.
Yep. And I know that the mule actually go further, does better than Kermit.
Oh, wow.
Even though it's a V8, but it also has a 22-gallon gas tank.
Dang.
24-gallon gas tank.
Wow. Okay.
Now Kermit's 18-gallon gas tank might do better than the mule. I haven't gotten to play around with that yet, but you should know about your fuel. And we're just talking so much about fuel because Doozy is a very kind of special trail where it's high elevation. You have to do some big climbs to get up there, and there's not really fuel readily available
Close to the start or the end.
Yeah. And like with Rubicon, you can run the Rubicon as like a quote unquote loop trail. You can go in Loon, come back out Loon, and get to your trailer.
Yes.
So worst case scenario, you just need fuel for the trail. That's it.
Yeah.
With Doozy, you're going to be driving on the road and going to have to drive either all the way back around to your trailer or all the way back down into Shaver Lake to the one gas station in Shaver Lake.
Yeah. And I think that I'm assuming the trail's too long to get to the other end, turn around and come back on the same tank of gas.
Yeah, it'd be tough. I mean, you're looking at 30, 32 miles, something like that.
No,
One way.
30 something miles one way, 60 miles round trip of off-roading.
Of slow technical off-roading. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would take another gas can, a 5-gallon gas can for Bobcat.
I think if you're running, a 4-cylinder with a 12-gallon tank, yeah, I think 5 to 10 gallons. I think 5 to 10 gallons is a safe bet for most people. Because I think most people are going to have anywhere from on average 15 to 20 gallon tank. So if you have an extra 5 to 10 gallons, that increases your range 25 to 50%.
Yeah. So I think Bobcat has 16-gallon tank.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Well, after, some rock crawling, maybe 15, now.
Yeah. So it's I think that 5 to 10 gallons is a safe bet. And if everybody in your group has extra 5, 10 gallons, the law of averages and helping everybody provide resources for the group dictates that you should probably be fine.
Yeah. And I would highly encourage people, if you're going to wheel Doozy, I would highly encourage everybody in your group carries extra gas.
Yep, 100%. And another way to figure this out, other than just hearsay from what Jimmy and I have heard, is talk to those people at the Friends of Doozy Facebook pages.
Right.
Talk to those people that have been on the trail multiple times. Find the people that are intimately familiar with the trail, and ask them, what do they have? What is their vehicle, their engine setup, and their gas tank setup?
Right.
And where are they looking at for their logistics, how they run it?
Yeah.
So,
or look at similar trails around you to doing something similar to them. Find out that it's like, I've got to drive 100 miles. And I don't know what the distance is, but I've got to drive, let's say 80 miles from the last gas station to the trailhead. And then I have 30 miles of trail. So how far down on the gas tank do you take it driving on the roads, for 80 miles? And then how far on the gas tank do you go, on a trail for 30 miles? And then you can do your own math and figure that out, because you should know, like you were saying, you should know roughly your miles per gallon, trail, like technical trail riding, light trail riding, or on the road driving. Yeah. You should have an idea of what those are. Yeah. So that you can implement this throughout any of the trails that you're doing.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, I think fuel, specifically for Doozy, fuel is the biggest concern. I think that another big concern for Doozy is trailer logistics.
Yes.
Because there's no good way, I think, to do trailer logistics for doozy. You're going to be driving on the road with a rock crawler at some point.
Yeah. Or you go halfway in and halfway out sort of scenario.
Yeah. So it's or you just have a really long day, a really long trip. You have a 5 days on trail kind of thing. So you're going all the way up the trail, then all the way back down. But I don't think that there's a good way to do trailer logistics. That's something I don't know. I haven't looked into for doozy.
Yeah.
So that would be something I would definitely be reaching out to Matt or Friends of Doozy Irsham to figure out, how do you do trailer logistics? If I wanted to tow down there, so I'm not driving the crawler down 99 and then up the 4 lane.
Right. Yeah. Or maybe they're going to be like, drive to Fresno, drop it at a friend's house, and then you're on with a crawler the rest of the time. Yeah.
Maybe you drive the rig up to Shaver Lake or Dinky Creek and you store the tow rig at one of the Dinky Creek campsites.
Yeah.
And you pay for the campsite, keep your tow rig there, and then you drive your crawler the rest of the way up.
Yeah.
That's the way I would envision it. I don't know if it's the best way, but
yeah. And I think a lot of that comes down to communication and talking to people and getting a better understanding, like we were talking about the first 2 ones.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I think fuel and understanding the range of your vehicle is very important on almost any trip you go on, right? And the duration of your trip all falls into that line. It's like, how long are you going to be out there? How far are you going? Will I have the fuel or resources, food and whatnot to be able to make that? And we'll get to the sort of what you're taking with you in probably next episode.
Yeah. So that's all fine and dandy. You can always plan for if everything goes well, right?
Yeah, 100%.
If everything goes well, we're only going to use 1 tank of gas. I won't need to get into a jerry can at all.
Yep.
I won't need to have somebody back up to bring gas to me. I won't need to Uber eat some gas into me. I don't know, whatever it is.
That'd be funny.
But what happens when shit goes wrong? And this is kind of like, this is where the preparedness comes in. You can always, what Jimmy and I like to call it is, hope for the best, plan for the worst.
Yes.
And so what happens if shit fails?
Yeah.
And your rig breaks down out at Irsham Lake, which is just beyond halfway point, right? What are you doing? How are you getting your vehicle out of there? How are you getting out of there? How are you going to be safe? Right.
Yeah. You got to plan for some of that stuff. You have to plan for the contingency. You have to plan for the worst case scenario. Right. You need to, in this case, you need to know somebody's number or in the area that you might be able to call. Or if you can't call because there's no cell phone reception, you got to plan for that. So what are you going to do? You carrying a Starlink with you? You're going to have some ham radio equipment that you can
Garmin
InReach, some way for you to get out, and to some extent planning for that. I'm talking worst case scenario. This is after the fact, like I can't fix this, right? This is, I don't have the parts for it, right? This is beyond you being able to self-recover. And so it's, how do you get out, right? How do you contact the outside world because you're nowhere close to it at that point in time? Yeah. Or like, what if we run out of water? Yeah. What if we run out of food? What if a bear comes into camp and eats all of our food? Yeah. Like, what is our game plan? What are you going to do? That
happens on the Rubicon for sure.
It does. Yeah. Is the trip over at that point? Are we going to figure for that example, you're going to probably figure it out in the moment. You're like, well, the bear ate all your food, but I have more than enough food. We can continue to go on. We're just going to eat all my food, Yeah. Or like, what if you're driving down what if none of you guys brought extra gas and you're going down the Rubik or a doozy trail? Like, decide where your like turnaround point might be.
The bingo points.
Yeah. The first person that gets to halfway on their, their gas gauge, that's when we're turning around. Yeah. Because that means, in theory, that person should be able to get back to the gas station that they came from. Yeah. So if you where is that point of no return for you guys on the trail? Like at that point, if you go any farther, then you're going all the way through. Right. Yep. So you need to have all these kind of vetted out with your friends or the people that you're going with. You need to talk about the worst case scenario. I forgot who it was. We interviewed somebody, or I heard it on our sister podcast or something. They said about off-roading in the Ultra 4 races. They say they know where they plan to drive in the race.
Yeah.
So they purposefully train in the bad area.
Yeah.
Because this one's the easy route.
Yeah.
And I hope I can take the easy route. But it might be taken or somebody broken down in it or, there's a traffic jam. I need to learn how to take the harder route.
Yeah.
And so that, they practice the harder route, which kind of goes with what I'm saying is like, you need to talk about it.
You need to know where the points are that you can pull an audible if you need to.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a good point. So if you know the route and know where different bailout points are, like on Fordyce, if you're going to do Fordyce and you get to the second river crossing and you flood your engine.
Yes.
What's your bailout? I mean, how are you getting off the trail from the second river crossing?
Yeah.
Your best option is really committee.
Kind of. Yep.
Which for a dead in the water rig is not a great option, but it's kind of your best option.
Yeah.
But you need to know that committee can be used as kind of a halfway point bailout in normal years.
Right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Do you also need to know if you're talking with land managers that committee cannot be used right now as a bailout. So, what are your contingency plans for if something goes wrong? How are you getting off the trail? What are your egress routes? That was one thing we always had to know in whitewater rafting is where the egress routes were for the canyon. And know that if we're at this point in the canyon, what's our closest egress route?
Sure.
And we needed to be able to know that like on a spur of the moment kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
How are you getting out of there if shit doesn't go well? Hopefully everything does go well, but you need to know if shit doesn't go well, what you're going to be doing and have a plan, have multiple plans for it, have contingency plans.
Yeah.
So that if one plan doesn't work, you have another one to fall back on, another one to fall back on, another one to fall back on. And then your drop dead plan is like an avalanche beacon. You hit that and the whole world comes searching for you.
Yeah,
like
SOS.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And a lot of like the Garmin InReach or the, I forgot what the other one I had was back in the day.
Was a Spot? Is there a Spot one?
Yeah. I had a Spot. That's what I had. But I never had a Garmin InReach, but they look nice. The Garmin InReach or Spots, and some phones nowadays. I think the iPhone 16 has it. You can do an SOS.
Yep.
And it will get out to search and rescue.
Yep.
They should figure out how to make their acronym SOS.
Yeah.
But
SARSOS.
Yeah, something. So that you can get found. I mean, that's the worst case scenario is like no matter what you can do, you can't leave. Then you need people to come and get you. And what different ways can you acquire that, I guess?
I would say the cheapest and like most basic way to accomplish that.
There's the word.
Would be an avalanche beacon.
Yeah.
Avalanche beacons are standalone. It's just a signal that if the signal appears on the search and rescue network, they're sending everybody to that GPS location. They don't know what's wrong with you. They don't know what's happened. They just know that you need help and they're going to send an army after you.
Yeah.
And they're relatively cheap. The device itself is fairly inexpensive and the service for it is really inexpensive because you're not using any data on it really. Sure. It's just a signal, an on or off kind of thing. Right. So avalanche beacons are great for that. Outside of that, you can start getting to more functions. We've kind of gone over emergency communication stuff before, just a couple times on this podcast.
Once or twice.
Garmin InReaches are, I think, in my opinion, the next thing. They have the InReach Mini. That's pretty affordable for everything that it does. It runs everything on an app on your phone. And then the Mini just sends the signal out to satellites.
Okay. That sounds like the Spot I had.
Yep.
It was all done on the phone, but it was just this device that you needed to connect to the satellite.
Yep. And then iPhone 15s and 16s have satellite texting, and MF Ryan used it recently. He was down in this area, actually, at Dinky Creek.
Okay.
The Dinky Creek campground area. And he was like, it is really smoky out here.
Right.
And then texted me from his satellite texting on his iPhone and said, hey, it's really smoky. Can you look up and see if there's any fires in the area?
Yeah.
And I pulled up Onyx and the fire mapping on Onyx, the live fire mapping and the Garnet fire. I was like, Yeah, there's a fire near you. It's not on top of you. I think you'd have a little bit of time, but like it's probably 20 miles away, which in Sierra National Forest, the fires can move very fast there.
Yeah.
But I was like, you should probably look at getting out of there.
Yeah.
And he got out of there. Turns out that was the Garnet fire that's going down there right now.
Yep.
And is currently burning through Dinky Creek Campground.
Wow.
So like, granted, we're, I think 2 months out from when he did that, when he sent that message and he was down there, but like having that satellite communications allowed him to make sure he was out of there well ahead of the fire.
Yeah.
So, and that implementation, that satellite implementation is getting implemented in a lot more cell phones coming up in the near future. T-Mobile has a deal with Starlink.
Yep. That's cool.
To be offering it in all of their phones and devices. Samsung is starting to put in satellite chips into all of their phones. And so it's going to be up to the service providers as to which company they contract with for the satellite services.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Amazon is launching a very robust satellite system at the moment.
Interesting.
So yeah, Jeff Bezos is going after that as well. They still have a lot of catching up to do to catch up to Starlink. But they're also coming out with currently rolling out a lot of satellites at the moment.
Wow. I'm now picturing Wall-E, I think it was.
Yeah.
Where they like the spaceship blasts through the earth covered in satellites.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, it's T-Mobile's contracted with Starlink. I've heard that AT&T is also going to be contracting with Starlink. Outside of that, I haven't heard of what Verizon's doing.
I've heard a rumor that Starlink's going to come out with their own mobile phone.
That's been an interesting rumor. When you fact check it, it's false. They haven't announced anything, but I could totally see Elon just being like, a phone should do this. And then the other Samsung and Apple are kind of like, yeah, I mean, it could do that, but we don't want to implement that for another 10 years.
Right.
And Elon would be like, fuck you, I'm implementing it now.
I'm doing it now.
Yeah. I can totally see him doing something like that. But unfortunately, at this point in time, there's no justification for that at the moment.
No,
but
he's given the service to do it.
Yeah.
Now he needs cell phone companies to be able to catch up.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that's coming in the near future, rolling it out to all cell phones. So that'll be really, really good for this type of thing, emergency communications. Starlink is a great option. The cool thing about Starlink is that you get full data.
Yeah.
Anything you want to get. The internet is at your fingertips, no matter where you are in the world. And right now, Starlinks are $299 for the minis.
I know. I saw that.
$300 for a mini. So if you guys have been holding off and you were going to get us, I know I heard from quite a few listeners that wanted to go get a Starlink when they heard about our episodes on the minis. And they went to check and the price had gone back up.
Yes.
It's back down.
I saw that too.
If you guys are interested, go check them out. Starlink Mini is a great, in my opinion, great thing to have. 12 volt native, which is what we work in as off-roaders. And full data at your fingertips, no matter where you are. You just need a clear view of the sky.
Yep.
So check that out. In my opinion, if you can afford it, it's the best way to go because you can download repair manuals. You can watch YouTube videos on repairs. You can figure out the good way to reset a weld while you're out there on the track. I don't know, whatever it is. The world's information is at your fingertips, and that can be an extremely valuable resource if you're in, shit hit the fan scenario out in the middle of Ersham Lake.
Yeah.
So
you can even ask ChatGPT, should I turn around?
Exactly, right? ChatGPT, I started here. I'm here now and I still have to get to here and I've used this much fuel. Should I turn around?
Yeah.
It'll tell you. It'll figure it out.
It could figure it out, possibly. I mean, we used ChatGPT on your on the breakover angle.
Yeah, we had to calculate the breakover angle from a picture.
Oh, the approach angle for that one.
Yeah, the approach and departure angles from the picture. So
yeah, that was wild.
Yep.
So I think the Escalon point is Starlink for sure. Like that's if you, because you can make your phone calls, you can text message, you can get internet, you can do everything that you could if you were sitting in your living room.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure.
Ham radio, I'm sad to say, is dying out as an emergency communications, especially as satellite texting is rolling out to cell phones.
Yeah.
Once satellite texting is on every cell phone, once it's on your cell phone, you can hit such a broader range of people doing that than with ham radio.
Yes.
Like ham radio is really just going to be for localized communications. I think from then on, from here on out.
And I think to some extent, ham radio is going to be less popular because now you don't need to get out. Like you were saying, now I don't need to use repeaters. Now I don't need to communicate. I could just text somebody and it's not going to be used as often on trail.
Yeah.
Because I think GMRS is going to be the way to go.
It's an easier to get into access protocol system licensing permit. And it doesn't go really long range GMRS like ham radio does. So it's really good at specializing at some fun vehicle stuff, especially if GME ever comes into and sells in the United States. So
yeah, interesting. Don't know what that is, but okay.
It's an Australian company that does recreational radios for off-roading in Australia. But essentially it's their CB, which is our GMRS frequencies.
Okay.
So they are doing a lot of really cool things with digital radio protocols.
Oh.
To have some really cool features for off-roading and recreation.
Okay.
And nobody in the United States is doing it.
Okay.
Rugged Radios isn't doing it. PCI isn't doing it. Midland isn't doing it. And GME is. And I'm like, I kind of want to become the GME distributor for the United States.
Yeah.
But I've got other things I need to focus on. So I'm hoping that somebody gets it in the United States here soon, because it will completely change how we do localized off-road communications on trails or in geographic areas for like do zeros from trail kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I bet Alex from Botches Off-Road already knows what it is.
He probably does.
All right. Yeah. I think that's a great start.
Yeah.
I think we've got 3 more main topics for next week that we're going to cover. So this was sort of planning the trip, organizing it, figuring out how to get there and some of the logistics in regards to that. I think our next section is going to be kind of going to the trail, the traveling there, traveling what you need, things to think about on the trail and how to get yourself home scenarios. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good. We'll call it there for today. That ended up being longer than I thought it was going to be. So it's kind of fun. Some fun conversations, hopefully some fun ideas that we got you guys. If there's stuff that we missed, let us know. Because we just sit here and talk on a microphone. We kind of scribble down notes beforehand, but this is all unscripted. So
right.
We definitely missed stuff. Call in, let us know what some of your ideas are for planning trips, getting ready, and starting to implement that information into pulling your trip off. So 916-345-4744 is that phone number in the voicemail. We love hearing from you guys. Give us a call and we'll go over those on Fridays during the snail mail segments.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that we don't have much experience in the land access scenarios, right? So if you are somewhere that you live where you can go onto other people's property and there's the trail continues through multiple people's property and you have to contact the landowners to be able to get permission for that. I'm curious how that works. Like how do you guys do that? Is it posted somewhere online? Like what is a good order of operations for you? Because we really don't have any experience doing that. So let us know. If you want to get a hold of us in other ways, you can always do that on Instagram. I'm over at Snail Trail 4x4. Tyler's over at 4x4 Toyota Tyler. Or you can email us, Jimmy or Tyler at snailtrail4x4.com.
Sweet. I like it a lot. Jimmy, any final words to wrap up the episode?
I don't know what it is or where it is everywhere else in the world, but at least here in Placer County, there's Dream Flows, and it talks about how fast water is moving in certain rivers.
Yep.
And so, for example, Fordyce, you can go onto Dreamflow, look at the Fordyce Creek, and it'll tell you how fast it's moving, and you'll know if you can take your car through the creek or not. Yep. And so I think that's a fantastic
big
tool to use for that trail.
Yep.
I don't know what else is out there for other trails around, but hopefully you can find something that'll work if you have to cross some creeks.
And with that, my friends, keep crawling. You look confused.
I got one for you.
Okay.
What do you call someone who designs playgrounds?
A playground designer.
Boring.
Somebody who designs playgrounds? A big kid?
That's what the answer should be.
Yeah. The movie Big.
Yeah. It was toys. But a parkitect.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That's somebody who designs parking garages, though.
Sure. A playitect.
Play tech.